Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Alpha Omega Occasionally. On this occasion, we're talking about the uniformity of Thailand, and in other words, like why do the majority of Thais behave in the same way? You know, the reason I'm standing here, by the way, I'm a bit croaky. I don't know what it is. I had a cough and I coughed and I coughed and I coughed, and I think I strained my larynx, but other than that I'm okay. But the reason I'm standing here is to prove the point that Thais generally behave in a uniformed way. They lose their individuality in a sense of community. Now, it might not be unique to Thais, but I've never experienced it before. I never experienced it in Ireland. You know, in Ireland we're educated to be individuals. Here the education, and I know about the education system here, they're educated to be part of a community. And it's extremely evident in what you see around you on a daily basis. And I'm going to point out a couple of things. A large majority, including the lady coming up here on my right, there, he didn't see that. A large majority of Thais still wear face masks. And why do they wear face masks? What's the point? You might say it's the pollution. Well, they wear face masks everywhere, the countryside or within the city. Car windows, with the exception of a fraction of a percent, and I mean this, all privately owned cars, and I stress privately owned cars in Bangkok, in Thailand, have blacked out windows. They all do it the same. And the exceptions to that are taxis and company cars. Obviously taxis for security reasons, company cars probably for the same, I don't know, but my wife drives a company car. The windows aren't tinted, but the windows in my car are tinted. And why did I get the windows in my car tinted? I didn't. When I ordered a car, my wife, I didn't speak Thai at all, and my wife was speaking to the dealer and she insisted that I have blacked out windows like all Thais. And you know what that does? Because of the lack of lighting, street lighting, because the street lighting in Bangkok can be intermittent. That, coupled with the fact that your windscreen or windshield is blacked out, driving at night is absolutely precarious. I actually got my wife I talked her into it, to reducing the tint, not eliminating the tint, but to reducing the tint on my windshield so I could see better at night. So look, I'll pan it around, not that you'll see much. So you see, they all behave in the same way. They all have tinted windows. They all behave in the same way. They all like samtam. I mean, come on. Show a bit of imagination. Every girl who I have spoken to, with the odd exception, when I ask them, Thai girl that is, when I ask them what food do they like, they say samtam. I don't like samtam, as you know. Well, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know. But why are they all the same? They all behave the same way when it comes to the sun. None of them want to go brown. None of them. But you see, if I draw a comparison with where I'm from, some people do, some people don't. Some people have blacked out windows on their cars, some people don't. We are individuals. We're not part of a group. Well, we are part of a group, but you know, we're part of a community. But the community doesn't define us. But here in Thailand, the community does define them. Absolutely, 100%. You see, In the culture I grew up in, I was encouraged to be an individual. And as a result of that, I have never been a member of a team. I don't want to be a member of a team. I hate any idea or anything to do with teamwork. As somebody once said, a very good friend of mine at the time, there's no I in team, but there is a me. The Thais, you see them, they go away with their, and again, this is not a criticism, it's not being negative, it's just pointing it out. You see, and I can't understand it, because it goes against the grain. You see them going off on their work dues, and they all wear the same shirts. There might be 20 of them wearing the same shirt. My wife bought t-shirts on more than one occasion, identical t-shirts for her, for my son and for me, and we're going somewhere for the weekend. I refused to wear it. I just couldn't do it. I'm not part of a unit. I am an entity. And this whole idea of group mentality, it really, really goes against the grain. And in Thailand, there's a huge group mentality. They go, Thai people like this, Thai people do this, Thai people do... You never hear an Irish person or a British person or a German or an American say, or a Canadian or an Australian or a New Zealander, I don't want to offend anybody, saying a New Zealander person does this or an Australian person. It's not, you're not defined by your nationality. You're not defined by a community. You're defined as an individual, but not here. And you see, that's one of the things, before I get shot down, that's one of the things that makes Thailand so interesting. Because it's so different. Because it's so wonderful. And I think that if a person wants to be part of a group, I'll celebrate that. Let them go and do it. That's what they want to do. But I don't want to do it. So I celebrate that because that's what I want to do. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I mean, I don't know if you have. I don't know if I'm shooting myself in the foot by telling you how I feel. Genuinely. Maybe I'm going against the grain as far as you're concerned. Maybe I'm going against the grain of society. But you see, I am part of society. Society isn't part of me. I don't represent society. But in Thailand, that's exactly what it is. They represent their own society. They're part of it. They're you know, one of the things that struck me when I came here first, and this is just an appendix to this, at 8 o'clock in the morning, I used to go somewhere, you know, I was studying to be an English teacher actually. And I remember getting off the MRT in a place where I was, and the loudspeakers on the street would blare the Thai national anthem. Full respect. But everybody would stop in their tracks on the street until the anthem was finished, including me. Out of respect, and of course you should offer your respect. But you do that in Ireland. We're passionate about being Irish. You're passionate about being British or English or German or French or American or Canadian or New Zealand or Afghanistanian or Indian. I don't want to leave anybody out. But you ask me to recite the words of my national anthem. I don't know what they are. And if there's anyone from Ireland watching this, you'll have to agree with me. How many Irish people know the words of the national anthem? How many Irish people remember Ireland's Independence Day? If I could ask anyone, what is the Irish Independence Day? I don't know what it is. Look, I'm just trying to labour the point that my nationality doesn't define me. I'm an individual. But coming to Thailand, you can see how non-individual they are. They're all part of this wider group. And you know, it's going to sound like a bit of a contradiction when I ask you to join with me and subscribe to this channel as part of the group. Let's be a group of individuals. Like, share and subscribe this video, and I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.